Annie Nightingale was a British radio broadcaster, often referred to as the First Lady of Radio.
Annie Nightingale. Annie Nightingale on BBC Radio 1.
She has had a significant impact on the music industry, particularly in the context of electronic dance music in the UK. Annie had an eclectic preference in music.
The 50s, now considered dull and austere, I found really exciting. Mainly due to the sounds coming out of the family radiogram. The radiogram that I remember growing up with was the kind of focal point of the room, and it was from there that this music came out. First memories I have were violins making me cry buckets, and it still does. I'm terrified. You know, things like symphonies and symphony orchestras, I have to run away because it affects me so much. I don't know why, and it still does. I was obviously very, very open to all these sounds, and I still am. And I guess that's why I end up doing what I do.
Annie Nightingale is known for her pioneering role in promoting and championing new and innovative music, including various electronic genres.
Go on, have a go. You may well be able to do it. Don't be afraid to try something. The opportunities were there. The first opportunity I had to do a bit of radio was actually a little unmanned studio inside the Royal Pavilion in Brighton, which may still be there. And it was sort of automated studios. There was nobody else there except me. And I had to put these headphones on, and then somebody would speak to me who was in Bristol or somewhere. And once I started doing it, it felt great. I thought, this comes naturally.
She became the first female on BBC Radio 1 in 1970, breaking gender barriers in the broadcasting industry. The BBC were reluctant at first to have a female radio DJ.
And it is 3 minutes past the hour of 1 o'clock on a Monday afternoon.
Radio 1 had begun, and it was all male. And I was quite more than shocked to hear that, no, women. Disc jockeys are husband substitutes. This is what they said. I couldn't believe it. And therefore, they don't want women broadcasting. This is ridiculous. What was so special about this pop radio station that it could not, it had to be male only? I just didn't get it. I couldn't understand it. It didn't make any sense to me at all.
It was thought by some that women would feel threatened to hear another female on the radio.
Side, it was I had this woman driver complex, and a feeling that they were waiting for me to make some very big mistake. Of course, people made mistakes. It didn't matter, actually.
Now, this has really upset me in such a visceral way. You know, Annie was the first woman I ever heard on the radio. Every Sunday I would listen to the chart, and I'd be in my bedroom taping the charts, and Annie Nightingale would come on every single week afterwards. She'd start a show in the same way every time. She'd just go, hi, and then she'd play a song. You know, there was something about Annie Nightingale. You know, she never bowed down to that sort of like, to be put in that sort of like silly little girl box. She knew her stuff. She turned up and she was herself. And from me listening to that, there's no way I would have been able to consider a job for myself in this industry without her. She was a trailblazer. She was one of a kind, and she was still doing what she loved up until the day she died. Annie Nightingale, thank you very much. You rocked it.
Knock the door down a bit to make that happen, because it seemed ridiculous. But the strange thing is that having that happen, I thought that loads of women would come rushing in after me. It was actually 12 years before Janice Long came along. So I just began to think, maybe no one else wants to do this. But then after that, it's a very different story. So now there's lots.
Her contributions to radio have been crucial in introducing new and diverse music to a wider audience.
Once I'd heard German electronic music, to me it was like the invention of the atomic bomb. You could not uninvent it. I absolutely loved it. But from then on, there was always going to be this backlash of people talking about real instruments and thinking that synthesizers was something horrible. They're not. Electronic music just changed everything.
His biggest contribution to the UK electronica was promoting acid house to the mainstream, especially at a time when rave music was associated with illegal activities.
In one sense, you can say, well, this is a free society, very free. But you might also argue it's freedom gone mad at midnight and after. And that's really what people were complaining about, an abuse of freedom.
So, wake up one morning and the beat has changed.
Black Box went to #1 for 6 weeks without getting played on radio once, and all because it was being played at the raves that summer. By the end of September, I think 2/3 of the charts were dance music. Radio 1 had to start reassessing its playlists and adding this stuff. Everything changed because of the raves.
Annie Nightingale played a vital role in bringing electronic music to mainstream attention in the UK. Her show on BBC Radio 1 provided a platform for emerging electronic artists. Her influence extended beyond the radio waves, as she actively participated in the music scene, attending clubs, festivals, and events, well into her 80s, staying connected with the latest trends and emerging talent.
Because I think I'm genuinely very interested in the way music develops, and it changes all the time. Sometimes people feel a bit embarrassed they don't want to look like they're trying to be down with the kids.
Yeah,
I'm not
okay.
trying to be down with the kids.
Annie Nightingale's commitment to showcasing cutting-edge music has made her a respected and influential figure in the British music industry. Her dedication to breaking musical boundaries and supporting new talent has contributed to the growth and acceptance of electronic dance music in the UK and beyond.
Getting played on the radio in the days pre-internet, getting played on the radio was your bread and butter. That's the only way that people could really hear you, apart from playing gigs. And so getting support from specialist DJs who would play something that wasn't in the charts. Annie and John Peel broke so many bands.
This is somebody at the beginning of their career, they can't afford to have. They haven't even got a record deal. They haven't got a big label behind them. How is that going to get played? Who's going to play that?
BBC were very elite and pompous regarding their music selection choice. Her motto was that good music is good music, regardless of the genre.
So on what basis do you choose what to listen to? I can't tell you that. If it gets some kind of emotional response to me, that is what you want. You know, you play a tune until it's peaked. If it's going to be something that's in the charts, and as soon as it's peaked in the charts, then you don't play it anymore, because you've got all these other tunes going, please play me. With very great restrictions on playing records. It was called needle time. So we had nothing like you have today when you have a pop station playing music 24 hours a day. That didn't exist. There were very strict rules about it.
Her pioneering spirit, openness, and dedication to showcasing innovative sounds have left an enduring mark on the British music landscape, and will continue to do so.
This has been Dylan Francis in the Mix with a special show highlighting the most glittering mixes of the year. Thank you so much to him. Wishing you a brilliant Christmas from us all on the Annie Nightingale Show, and lots of love from me to you.